Hello everyone and welcome back to the guide which will show you today how to get two vehicles together. If the method to obtain more than one vehicle is pretty much the same thing, and if those vehicles are located close to each other in the mission, I will usually just cover them in one video. Our victims today, although honestly we will be the victims here, are this Intruder with a red invisible special secondary color. Yeah. And this Washington with a grey invisible special secondary color and a special luster. Or at least that's what she said. And holy George Washington's pajamas, is this one seriously annoying vehicle. I think we are not wrong if we say it out loud that this is, as of April 2021, the hardest special vehicle in the entire game. And in no way will this get a positive rating in the end of this video. However, a guide is a guide, so enough of me rambling and let's see what's up with those vehicles. First of all, both of those vehicles can be obtained from the jewel heist itself, with any approach and with any crew you like. As always, none of this is possible with a mission replay. The first method, which is maybe surprisingly an easier method to get those cars, is using a garage mode. Garage mode method still works for the enhanced versions ever since the patch 1.17. Be noted that the first patch of enhanced version for consoles is 1.16 and it does not work there yet. The garage mode is just a generalizing name used by special vehicle collectors to describe a rather glitched gameplay state. For this trick, you of course need to have the interior garage bought. They are unlocked after the story mission Father Son and cost $30,000. If you need money, I suggest using this location to collect the money briefcase. Just jump into water and on the sunken platform you will find a money bag worth of $7,500. You can come back here over and over until you have the money necessary to buy your garage. You need a small car that can enter the garage and a taxi. The next part is complicated and requires precise timing. Press the button which activates the taxi side mission and immediately run into your small car before the dialogue ends.
Hey, if anything's available, I got time for a job.
This trick might need being sort of familiar with what taxi dialogues sound like, and turning on subtitles might help as well. Once in your small car, wait until the taxi dialogue is about to end, and few microseconds before it does, press the enter garage button.
This is dispatch. I got a job going right now.
If done correctly, you can exit the car after the dialogue ends, something you normally wouldn't be able to do. You will now be placed into garage mode, which is noticeable from black HUD, and it means that you can run around freely while the game still thinks you are inside of your garage. There is another method to enter garage mode, and that involves pouring gas in front of your garage door, then lighting that up and pressing enter garage on your bike. This is much easier, but I do not suggest using this method much, since it removes the HUD and it does not allow you pull up the interaction menu, which is useful for many special vehicles. Regardless of your method, garage mode will always be and act exactly the same. Just like in garage normally, any vehicle you drive will be teleported to your garage as if you were taking it out from this. Only way to trick this mechanic is using an interaction menu. While you have it pulled up, you can in fact drive vehicles around, but the moment it closes and you are pressing gas, you will be taken out of garage mode, so be cautious. Since you can get those cars from both approaches, I will have to describe how to reach the jewel heist while in garage mode with both approaches. First method is entering the garage mode with a smart approach. Assuming you have chosen a smart approach, you need to have the Buckstars setup mission on the map and the mission BZ gas canisters passed. This isn't the order which game unlocks those missions in, so be patient and wait until gas canisters appears, then pass this first. For this vehicle, of course, we have to be in garage mode as Michael, since he's the only one who can complete those setup missions. Once in the garage mode, we actually want to use the advantages of interaction menu and grab ourselves an automobile. Now carefully drive to Buckstars heist setup, and once there, you can actually try and pass the mission with the interaction menu. However, I don't suggest this, since you will be unable to use combat, thus you will get a wanted level and it will overall be a huge mess. So rather use an easier method, which is just skipping that mission. If you trigger the mission, just do a 180 and drive off. However, bear in mind that once the mission fails, interaction menu will be gone, and if you are holding gas during that point, you will screw it up. mission gets failed about here, so before reaching this point, just release all buttons and let the car roll freely into failure. Once the fail screen is up, we want to press retry. Now a quick note, you will spawn in a vehicle, so make sure you pull up the interaction menu before you start driving. Repeat the same process 2 more times, and if you fail the mission for the 3rd time, an option to skip the mission appears. Of course, we want to press it. You will now be put to Jewel Heist while still having a garage mode active. This is the point where it's appropriate to mention the importance of setup mission order. Buckstar's mission is the only one which can be skipped this way. BZ gas canisters and carbine rifles in Loud cannot be skipped. That is why we needed to have Buckstars left on map. Michael will tell Franklin about the crew while you drive to Jewel store. The dialogue will depend on your crew choice, which in my case is the best crew, Karim, Becky and Ricky. But regardless of your choice, after he finishes his dialogue about the crew, interaction menu will be forced closed to show some useless tips on the screen. Now, it might be annoying to see that coming, but you need to quit pressing gas before that happens, otherwise you will be holding gas while it closes and you are again screwed. You then want to wait for that tip to go away and reapply the menu, after which you can safely finish your drive. If you reach the next scene, all you gotta do is turn around and run until you fail the mission. Do this 3 times again and skip this section as well. You will now be inside the shop, and this section can actually be played and doesn't have to be skipped. All that is different from normal gameplay is that you need to use your raw fist power to smash the cabinets, which is honestly oddly humorous to watch. Now the Loud approach. Going into garage mode with Loud approach is a bit more annoying. For this you need to have a tow truck saved for Michael. Once the setup mission is on the radar, enter the garage mode and pick up that tow truck. Open up the interaction menu, lower the hook and go pick up the FIB van. If it's hooked, stand still until cops exit from it and then head into somewhere where you can easily lose cops. I'm usually using this train tunnel over here. Now, once the cops are gone, you need to unhook the truck, but this can only be done when the interaction menu is down, so make sure your fingers are off driving buttons if you do it. What is more, after exiting the tow truck, 2 tips will come up mentioning Michael's special ability. You cannot bring up the interaction menu while those are on the screen, so wait until they go away and then drive the FIB to where you are asked to. If you exit, you can see that nothing happens since you are supposed to call Lester, but phones cannot be used during garage mode. So it is practically a soft lock, but there is luckily a way around it. You have to go to this location and wait for a taxi. It can take pretty long to spawn, but don't go any further since you can still accidentally abandon the van. Once the taxi finally appears, get into the back seat and travel to La Mesa gun shop. If nothing happens, whistle to the taxi and teleport back to where you were before. Keep teleporting between those 2 locations until the heist randomly starts.
Come on, man, where you going? Mission. All right. Want to say thanks?
From there, it is pretty easy. All you have to do is drive to the Jewel store while the interaction menu is up. Just a tiny side note, release your gas before reaching the shop, since the cutscene may screw up the garage mode if you still hold gas during it. Rest is basically the same like with Smart, just use your fists to smash the cabinets. Once this is done and the cutscene ends, rest is pretty much identical regardless of your approach choice. You will now be on your bike. Make sure to pull up the interaction menu and drive to the Intruder, which is this red car over here. Once inside it, press gas and you will be taken out of garage mode, which also impounds the car in the process. After a few seconds, the mission will be failed. This is why isn't the garage mode possible for the early game versions. You simply cannot sit on the bike after exiting the shop like you can in this video. You would unwillingly be taken out of garage mode with a bike, which isn't what we want. And with Loud approach, you wouldn't even get further from sitting in the backseat of the taxi, so that's even more hopeless. Now if the mission fails, hit restart and either pass the heist, or if you are like me with the guide and want to get the Washington as well, there actually is a method for this too. So the Washington, what exactly are we dealing with here? First of all, it is, or at least should be, a lustered vehicle, which means it can spawn with different shines, 3 of which are special, and here is how they look like. As you can see, they are not very easy to distinguish from many similar looking non-special shines. But that is honestly our tiniest concern here, since that car does not want to change those lusters at all. To be honest, the only way to change shines is fresh rebooting your game and reaching up to this point of the heist and hoping it does have something else than a first shine. Washington has a first shine if the second Washington in the distance looks like this. If the shine is not first, you should notice it, and only then you can fail the mission and hit retry and it will change even further. But if the Washington has a first shine, there's nothing to do but to return to fresh rebooting. Should you waste your time on that? Absolutely not, since even I have never seen the shine change, so I don't have any footage which would show this. All that proves it can actually change is that I have actually seen it happen in other videos around YouTube. I honestly suggest ignoring the shine, since this Washington still has an invisible special tone as well, which is always present, so you can still keep it and it will be special, just without the shine. But since we wasted the garage mode on Intruder, our problems are far from over. A strategy to get the car like this is an absolute nightmare. You need to steal the Washington and take that route to Franklin's house, while all the time keeping your camera on both the crew and the bike. Lock-on helps to watch the crew, but for the bike you have to manually pan the camera. And I will tell you this, folks, that this was a pain in the ass enough, even with a mouse and a keyboard. So if you are using a controller, all I can wish you is the good old luck. If you reach the house though, you have to park the car inside the garage and get out, move your camera and fail the mission, then hit retry and pass the heist. The only reason why I'm showing this alternative method is because of those older versions which cannot use the garage mode. But then again, those versions are all using a controller, so it is a bad vehicle in every way you look at it. I personally was never able to master this route with a controller, so I don't have any footage to prove it is even possible. But maybe someone out there is actually skilled with those camera controls and pulls that off, which of course would be awesome. After the heist is passed, you can find the Intruder from the impound. This car does not have any special shines, so it's just always special by the invisible secondary color only. If you go to Franklin's garage, there will be this Washington parked. Of course, in this video I did not get the special shine, so it's also special by invisible secondary color, just like the Intruder. You can always use both of those methods with both Intruder and Washington. You don't actually have to steal them in the order I was showing in this video. Most practical way of getting those, if you should even want those vehicles, is just by impounding them with a garage mode in 2 separate saves and going for invisible tones only, since messing with those lusters on Washington is not practical. If you think you in fact got a special shine on Washington, you can check it when you drive into the mod shop and click on primary metallic color menu, but do not buy anything. Instead, just exit the mod shop and get back inside. You can now click on % menu, and if nothing shows as equipped, you got a special luster and you should feel like a god. However, if something shows as sport, you should feel normal and go on with your life. For the end of this video, I would rate those vehicles absolutely not worth it. Intruder is okay to get, but the Washington is just the most annoying thing I have ever had to record for this guide. So for your own sake, don't bother with those cars unless you are a serious special vehicle fanatic. And not to mention, those cars have a special invisible secondary color, so visually they don't look special at all, especially without the shine, which makes them even more useless. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, you can let me know about this by hitting a like button and of course by subscribing. Also make sure to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my videos in the future.